Lakshmi Card Clothing Manufacturing Company is one such company which started in 1960s, and they were pioneer in card clothing manufacturing. Today we have with us the joint managing director Mr. Hari Shankar, who is also chairman of India ITME Society. He also was chairman of Textile Machinery Manufacturers Associations. Apart from all the professional accolades he has collected over the years, he is also an avid wildlife photographer and sports enthusiastic. Welcome, Mr. Hari Shankar. It's a pleasure to have you here in this conversation series which we are having. The effort is basically to open up the Indian textile engineering industry to the globe. Also, because of the social distancing and the travel restrictions which we experienced last 2 years, the effort is to keep the connect and also talk about something which normally the business part everyone knows, but there are informations about a company, the USPs, the unique things which you do with your staff, with your product, with your marketing sales, which probably your customers don't know, which makes you very unique. That is what we are here to talk about. And welcome to you, and welcome Avinash, and thank you so much for being with ITME Society, spending so much time and doing this for us, and I'm sure we will have a very interesting conversation today.
Good morning, and first of all, thank you Seema for the lovely introduction. Hello Avinash, good morning. First of all, it is my pleasure to be back in Bombay after almost 2 years with all the disruption from the COVID pandemic, although we've been working online through Zoom and whatever else. This is far more interactive and personal. So thank you once again for having me here for today's session. It is indeed such a pleasure.
So Mr. Hari Shankar, it is always pleasure to get associated with you, your organization, especially Lakshmi Card Clothing. And when I look at Lakshmi Card Clothing, it has its own, leading from the front, making so many milestones for past so many years. Now I think it was 1960, so it is almost 40 plus 20, 61 years. And always when I look at it, it is always a role model. So what has gone into it by which your organization has, gone through this, phase of changes, taking care of whatever technological advancements which are happening, and then still growing further. So what is it? Can you just tell us something about it?
Thank you, Avinash. As you've seen, our catchphrase in all of our marketing campaigns, we always go by the theme leader by nature, and that is something at Lakshmi Card Clothing we've always strived to do right from 1960, when the company was incorporated under collaboration with a leading Swiss company where we got the technology and the know-how. And over the years, we had many milestones along the way. In around 1967, we switched from flexible to metallic card clothing when the newer generation of cards came into effect at that point in time. Along the way, obviously, there's been lots of milestones. Some other milestones includes that we are a completely self-reliant company where we have integrated processes, where we have the wire rolling and the wire drawing and the ability to manufacture in-house. All of this has definitely played a role in being on the forefront of R&D and development, and we've also seen a lot of benefits simply from these last couple of years from the pandemic, where our self-reliance has come a long way, because as you know, we have a lot of logistical disruptions from the supply chain. Lots of lessons have been learned as to how to stay self-reliant and to come up in-house. We're also at the moment working towards our government's Made in India campaign, where we're trying very hard to work with local large-scale steel manufacturers. It's going to take a lot of time because it's a very specialized engineering process, but we've begun some of our research and trials and things. Hopefully long term that will be something that's attainable also.
That's really great. But if you see, for over years, there is no compromise on quality. How do you take care of the consistency in quality, consistency in technological developments which are happening? Do you have any support which is being given by outsiders? How do you take care of this?
So that's a good question, Avinash, because it's a very specialized engineering product. Even though it looks like a simple product, it requires a lot of precision engineering, and I can say that we have a very strong in-house R&D team, where not only we continuously try and aim for continuous improvement, but also we've worked over the years with our very strong customer base, where we want solutions to come based on the customer angle. We're also very fortunate that the House of Lakshmi is vertically integrated, where we have textile mills, we have textile machinery manufacturing, we have textile accessories and components, where there's a lot of R&D that goes into existence, and we work also hand in hand with the Lakshmi Machine Works, where a lot of the original equipment for their cards is equipped with Lakshmi Card Clothing as well. So all in all, it's a continuous improvement, and it's part of our long-term strategic planning.
In fact, we always say cardware is spinware, and your carding wire plays very important role in getting best of the quality. And as you rightly said, Lakshmi Machine Works and you are collaborating with each other, as well as Lakshmi Group has its own mills. So is it helping you for that leading edge which you are taking over competition, that you can take the trial, you can test the product immediately within the house, and then you can come out with your new products as well as the new advancement which is happening?
Absolutely, Avinash. It's continuous development. We always have 3 or 4 products in the pipeline where field trials take as much as 2 full years, because that's the life cycle of the product, and there's always 3 or 4 different products in the pipeline at any given time. And as I previously mentioned, it's all coming from the value from the user standpoint.
Okay. One more point which I observed is that in card wire, do you have any certifications? Do you have to have some environmental concerns? So how do you take care of these all issues, and what is your idea about it?
Yes, Avinash, we are ISO certified, where everything is pretty strong norms, and we're also working towards long-term sustainability in things. We've done 1 or 2 recent projects where some of our packaging and packaging solutions to the end product is by using sustainable, reusable material. That's a little bit slower to come into existence, but we're working very hard on getting it across to our entire user base.
So you are taking care of the environment by doing some sort of innovation in your packaging. Can you just throw some more light on this packaging product?
Yes, so we use a lot of spools and things to wind our metallic wire. So we're trying to make it reusable, and by getting it back from our user base from across the country, at least to begin with, so that can be reused and recycled, or at least find an alternate use for the mills in case that we don't get it back due to logistical issues or whatever else. So I think especially today that's very much required.
That's great. Tell me, how is the competition in the global markets, and how do you win over this particular competition? Is it quality, is it price, or it is global logistic? What helps you in winning over the competition?
So from our experience, there is nothing to match quality. I think quality is the benchmark of all parameters that we go by. So there's no compromise to quality, right from the use of the finest material to state-of-the-art manufacturing processes to dedication in terms of research and development, right down to our service strength. All of this goes into being a top-of-the-line manufacturer in the car clothing market.
See, 60 years, 6 decades is a big time. So how do you take care of your people? How do you train them? How do you keep up with the whatever requirements you have related to the quality management, related to the skill sets, because you will be having people who will be changing after a few years. So how you continuously monitor the quality parameters of your own team members?
So it is two-part, Avinash. One is obviously we've gone into a lot of digitization over the years, but also, as you say, you need a lot of skill and precision. So it takes anywhere from 8 months to a year for people to be continuously trained to achieve the complete skill set, and that's a continuous process that we pride ourselves on doing.
By the way, just tell me that during pandemic, anything which has happened, which is technically you have adopted for your own organization. So how pandemic has helped you in doing something different for your organization?
So Avinash, I think the main thing, the main challenge from the pandemic worldwide is a double-edged sword, because we had production shutdowns and we had logistical supply chain issues. Even today, we have massive supply chain issues worldwide. Containers are not available. Shipping and logistics is very, very expensive. The prices of just about all commodities have shot through the roof. So I think more than ever, self-reliancy and sustainability is more important going forward. The more you are self-reliant, which we luckily, that's the approach we've had from day one, with our backward integration, whatever else. I think that is the takeaway we have from the pandemic. The pandemic not really affects everything around you, but I think it affects the entire global supply chain.
That's true. In fact, one more point I just wanted to discuss with you is about the fiber, because when it is carding wire, we mainly focus India as a cotton fiber is prominent for us, and we are having share of almost 65-67%, whereas globally things are different. It is towards man-made fiber. Do you think, or what are your views, that India should focus on, whether they should focus and restrain themselves with cotton industry, or we should adopt to the man-made fiber industry?
I think there is already some man-made fiber industry, but I think cotton has always been a part of our strengths, and that's definitely something we should stick to, because I think in India we manufacture cotton yarn right across the entire spectrum. In terms of, we also have a lot of regenerated fiber also coming into the picture. In markets like Panipat, for example, where there's a lot of regenerated fiber coming into play, because once again sustainability is what is driving this, because I think the end user is always looking for the most sustainable products for them to buy. The emerging trend is where, especially driven by young people, their purchases are online, it's internet driven. You go by the click of a button, and they want to know exactly where your product is coming from, whether it's sustainable, everything that goes into it. You've got to have a strong philosophy behind everything.
It was really great to have a very good interaction with you, and thank you very much for coming to ITME office all the way from Coimbatore and interact and give your thoughtful messages to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Avinash, for having me here today. It's been a pleasure. It's been a very entertaining conversation with you, and it's been definitely a pleasure to come back to Bombay after almost 2 years of absence. So once again, thank you very much.
All the best to Lakshmi Card Clothing, as well as all the best for the ITME event, which is going to be in 2022. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.